me.
Generals gathered in their masses.
Get out of the way.
Hi, welcome to Office Hours with Amber. I'm Amber, and this is Office Hours. I am going to turn this frown upside down, I promise you that. But the most important news to happen today is that I've got a hot dog on my shirt. Other than that, not much going on in my world. Let's make sure the audio is working. Yep, audio's good. Okay. We're starting again we're starting an hour early again because the universe really just be fucking around today. So I'm going to give myself at max 5 to 8 minutes to just complain. And then I'm hopping into something I'm actually really excited about and that I'm going to be designating more energy towards is the new service offering, which is Amber's Data Janitorial, or the Amber the File Fairy. And what I'm excited about is, or what I've recognized is that understanding what the hell I do is a little difficult. Industrial engineering, most people haven't heard of it, or most people don't know how to use it, or most people don't know how much it costs. But what I recently was experiencing is if I was to I was talking, there was a we're going to get to the concept here shortly. I've always wanted to get my car detailed, and it's one of those things that I could detail my car the best I can, and it still isn't going to look as good as someone who's really good at detailing cars. And similarly, someone could organize all of their files and all of their folders and all of their data, but in comparison to someone who works with data and files and people every day, I am a very particularly interesting I have a particular expertise in that area. And so what I found is that everyone has files, whether it's Google Drive, OneDrive, SharePoint, whatever, your hard drive, everyone's got files of some sort. And with businesses, usually with growing businesses, you start with one person, then it comes 2 people, then there's 3 people. Hey, Mom, thanks for coming. Then there's 4 people. And as organizations grow, usually people don't really realize the importance of data privacy and making sure that, you know, if you are a founder and you created your Google Drive, now you have all your financial statements, you have all of your forecasts, you have all of everyone's salaries. How are you password protecting and keeping your data separate from everyone else's? How do you even decide how to organize your file structure? What I'm finding is that I am what some would call a data dumpster diver. And I just realized I never moved this. Data dumpster diver. I think Drew Harnish with Arpeggio was the one that called me that one time. I love just crawling through your data dumpsters and finding hidden treasures, making sure that you separate out the junk from the good stuff. And that's actually something that I could do in my sleep. I love it. I know how to talk to people. I know how to figure out what's going on. And so I would love to try out this new service offering, but I need to be able to have the pricing structure or maybe like a few offers. So I could say just $50 an hour, but then people are going to be like, well, how long is it going to take you to do? Well, how big is your files? I don't know. Depends on how interesting, how big your team is. And so I'm excited to start looking into kind of different ways. I'm going to be I think I'm going to be focusing on this for the next 4 weeks. And so this week I'm looking into what are the key components of creating new service offerings, contract structure, pricing, how do you put it on your website? I think this is going to be really helpful for me to invest some time into. Also, I'm going to have you guys check the audio. It's so hot in here, and I don't know if the fan is going to get caught on the microphone. So you guys let me know if you can hear a fan and if we're annoyed by it, because it is so hot. So now that you know that this episode is going to be about creating service offerings, I already have what I want. I already have like ideas, but that's what I'm going to be researching here in the next hour. But the current status is I in the last week, especially with the condemnment series that I've been putting on TikTok, I got to go on the news, and my key role in posting on TikTok about the condemnment is I don't care about talking shit about the apartment complex, to be honest. Like, I love living here. I love this place. I have loved it. And it's really an unfortunate situation. But the fact that they're playing in our face about so much stuff, I want to make sure that my neighbors are in contact with proper resources that are not playing in their face. Like, I just care that everyone's making educated decisions and the most informed decisions for what's right for them and their families. The problem is the people that are in charge here are not providing correct information, and they're kind of coercing people into doing things against their better judgment. And that, similar to my business, just grinds a gear in my soul so deep that I can't not help, and I can't not go around and help people, get them connected with resources. So anyways, this is the saga for the last 12 days, is that we've been condemned, getting mixed information. We've been creating shared resources so that people know exactly what their rights are and what things everyone's hearing and saying and all of everyone's experiences. And today, I wake up and my air conditioner's not working. And it's like the first 80-degree day we have. Now, I love having the windows open. Do not get me wrong. And I did properly medicate. I have allergy meds now. Thank the Lord. But anyways, I put in a request and I say, hey, AC's not working, but I know y'all are busy, so take your time. And then I was messaging with the, there was like a maintenance automated thing. Hell yeah, that's great. And then I am sitting here with my AirPods in, and so it's kind of hard to hear stuff. But Banjo starts barking at someone at the door, and I'm like, that's weird. So I look, and someone's walking away, and I was like, oh my gosh, I missed the maintenance guy. So I run to my door to go let him in, because I thought it was the maintenance guy. And in this neighborhood, I've never felt unsafe in any way. Like, I've truly loved, and I love living here, and it's so safe and normally for me. I go to talk to this guy, and he's leaving, and then I was like, oh, hey, like, he was like, oh, I was just looking at your sign. What do you mean you're looking at my sign? To get to where I'm at, I'm deep in the neighborhood. Of the 300 units, I think my sister said it best, you have to pass 100 other units to get to mine. And I'm on the second floor. So you're saying to me, you just wanted to look at the sign? So you drove all the way in, all the way to your little parking spot, climbed my stairs, stared at my door, and then when my dog started barking, then you choose to leave? That's weird. And in the moment, I just froze entirely. I just kind of accepted that was the answer, and I didn't ask anything. I completely froze. And then I came back inside, and then I grabbed my phone, and I was like, oh, I should get his plates. And so I grabbed his plates real quick. I gave it to the police directly afterwards, because let's imagine this apartment complex is losing about $600,000 of revenue each month that they're condemned. Let's imagine that. Now imagine the company the New Earth Residential that has a lot of properties, and now you're losing $600,000 a month. And there's this little squirrely bitch, Amber, on the internet talking all her shit. My brain in that exact moment was like, what if this guy is in connection to somebody who's on behalf of somebody, and they're trying to show me that they know exactly where I live? That's so fucked up. And now here's the thing. There is such a thing as anxiety and paranoia. And that's where immediately I was trying to underplay my experience. I'm like, no, that wouldn't happen. That's like not real. But that's exactly how people get chopped up and put in freezers. You know what I mean? And so that's where my whole brain shut in on itself. I was like, so yeah, I'm doing this an hour early so that if they think I'm going to be at my house during the regularly scheduled live stream I have, I'm not. And my Ring doorbell is plenty charged. All of my cameras are charged. And yeah, I might be going a little crazy, but guess what? When you lived in a condemned ass apartment, your brain starts to go a little cuckoo bananas. But anyways, I'm reserving this next 50 minutes for me. I'm going to be designating time for my business, and this is my protected time to develop my business system. So I'm excited. Yeah. And if you want to see more of my me talking my shit, feel free to follow me on TikTok at MJamber. Without further ado, I'm going to I'm just gonna mildly use Claude, open the door just for some structural things, and then yeah, yeah, get creeped out by people, drive by slow by my house, let alone something like that. And that's the thing also with this is like I keep trying to unconvince myself that I'm overreacting. And then I go back to the facts of what happened and I'm like, I don't think I'm overreacting. But then and this and this for other people that experience, if you are faced with fight, flight, freeze, um I'm going to normalize freeze for a minute. So what really struck me later in the day, and obviously Jody, you already heard this on TikTok, but the same shame I was feeling for most of the day of why didn't I just ask him this thing, or why did I should have said this, or I should have said that, or I should have asked this, or why didn't I, pressure him more. That's a shame I'm carrying all day because some fuck ass 40-something-year-old dude decided to come to my apartment door, not knock, and be a weirdo. And now I'm carrying shame because because of a man's fuck ass behavior. I'm carrying that with me. And you want to know other times that happens in life? Moments of sexual harassment. So my nervous system knew exactly the neural pathway it was going to follow as soon as I saw that guy answer in a weird way at my door. And that sucks that I am sitting here, and I don't like to make it man versus woman or whatever. It's just when there's this weird, icky power dynamic that your nervous system picks up before you do. Your body just shuts, like the ability to cognitively react in a different way than last time. It's just so difficult. So I'm glad I even got the plates, but like the shame that I've been carrying today is not my own, and I release it to the universe. But ew, yeah, Jody, I don't like that either. I don't know why everyone's deciding to be just fucking gross. Like, yeah. So, anyways, thankfully, we have gotten quotes from Mulder's Moving here in Kalamazoo, and they was more than pleasant. Oop. He was more than pleasant and super helpful, so I'm excited. But now, I don't know if that actually played. It is time to explore building new service offerings. Yeah, let's do it. I'm literally sweating my pants off. It's still 80 something degrees and there's not much cross breeze happening. One moment. One moment. One moment. My other window I had closed earlier while I was gone. Okay. Gonna put my hair up higher because holy moly, I am hot. Okay. Anyways, on a lighter note, I hope everyone's having a wonderful, I hope everyone's having a wonderful Monday. Tell me everything. Mom, did you get your muffler fixed? Jody, what do you got going on? I feel like you have been busy. Busy girl. I'm gonna get some light music on. And yeah, there we go. The AC, I at least the automated service where like you kind of give them more information. They had said Thursday's the muffler. They had said something like they at least took in the information, and it might be lower on their priority list, but I think a lot of people are having issues with their AC today, so I'm not concerned about them not fixing it. I mean, if they want musty, dusty apartments that mold quicker, hey, by all means. Oh, I know, Banjo, you have had a day. We're really having a moment here. Plain. We're both a little overstimulated today. Ooh, you played hooky. Fun. Tell me more. What'd you guys do today? Hopefully something outside. How much more school do they have left? A month? I'm pulling up music. I think we want to go with Bosa royalty free. Out. Let me know if you can hear that. Got your medical stuff. Nice. Wow, busy day. Busy. Okay. Let me know how loud the music is in comparison to me. And if it's whack, you let me know. Okay. Ooh, meatball subs sound good. I'm having energy drinks for dinner. But I'm feeling a bit better. I'm glad that I didn't let the boogeyman scare me out of my house. Definitely. I imagine that you're tired from the party for show. Okay. Let's see. Let's just see what Claude's got to say about this. Basically, I just want to get like a full list of things that I should even be researching. I don't really need them to make it for me. I want them to just give me a list of stuff to research. Roughly. So I don't know exactly who, but like I think we're kind of in the moment where I'm like, I know people could use this because I could use this. And similar to house cleaning, the house cleaner is going to hit the baseboards. I will never hit a baseboard. I might, but like once a year. You know what I mean? Oh God, my TikTok's blowing up. None of my business. That's what I'm doing right now. I know I have this, from the people I've talked to so far, they've all said that, oh my gosh, I could use that for sure. Or even like the people that I've recognized their files keeping habits. And especially it's like for people that go like file version 6 final, use this one for sure, blah, 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 blah. Something like that. Like everyone does that. And so I have a feeling that this is worthwhile. I'm going to turn my phone on Do Not Disturb because I keep looking at it. Okay. Stuff gets lost. Nobody knows how to name and store things. This is a system of systems and habits, which is why I love it. Distinction matters for how I position. One-time audit and fix. Quarterly maintenance retainer. Set up and train. Hybrid. Audit with retainer. Yeah. Hourly versus flat. Okay. I'm going to take this. I'm going to take this right out because I don't want to rely on AI for this stuff. I want to like use all of these prompts to ask myself these questions, you know? Which obviously I need to tell, I've told this story before, but a quick anecdote that I heard, or there was 2 things that I was hearing. I don't know what specific baby formula company it was, but apparently in like the 60s or something, and fact check me on all this, in the 60s or something, a baby formula company went out and gave a bunch of low-income women baby formula for free for like 6 months or something, long enough that their supply had run dry. But because once their supply had run dry, then they had to keep buying the formula because they weren't able to utilize their other options. Similar with AI, it seems that these bigger companies are trying to outsource your critical thinking long enough that you can't critically think on your own. And that is deeply scary to me. So I used to be very heavy AI, but the reason why I've leaned into AI over time is because I'm up at all hours. I don't often have people who are intellectually on my level in the things I am intellectually high on that want to pitter patter ideas back and forth and really dive to the absolute bottom of the trenches of my ideas with me. That's where AI is helpful because I'm a fucking mad scientist at my house alone. So it's helpful to have someone who will go back and forth. But over time, you know, as you learn more and you see the impact on the environment, the impact it has on like the data centers impact on the environment, all of these different things. That's where I'm trying to limit my usage as much as possible. But if I do not stay educated on all the pros and woes on how it works and all the fallacies, like for instance, I was doing a project with a client and I asked them to provide me with some facts or some research that they had found. They supplied me with a ChatGPT output. And I go, okay, can I have that output with the links that it's referencing, all of its, let me maybe turn off the background noise. I asked them to provide me with the insight, the links and the resources, the quotations. Like, I just want to see what it's pulling from. One of the quotes that was given was that blank, blank, blank is a $5 billion industry. In the link that was provided in its own same breath, it even said the link, like the URL says $4 billion industry. I look at the website that it links, $4 billion. And that's where even the softballs it's getting wrong. And so that's where when people are outsourcing all of their, some of their business processes and business systems to AI, I get really fucking nervous because systems are built on repeatable outcomes, repeatable inputs, repeatable outputs. And you can't repeat the output. I could ask it the same question every day and it might give me 6 different answers. And that's where, as the systems engineer, I would love for all of your businesses to be built on a foundation of lies and AI so that afterwards you have to hire me for a premium to come in and save you a bunch of money because you've spent a gazillion dollars on tokens that you don't need. So I'm just so evil today. We really can't. I really got to knock it off. But really, I don't want people to waste a bunch of money on that stuff. At least right now, while it's being actively so bad, and it's, I don't know, I'm trying to limit my usage and being more conscious of my usage. And I am imperfect, but I'm trying to stay educated enough so I can directly show people what the ramifications of using it sometimes is. But I also love it because it's helped me so immensely to learn so much so fast. Another thing that someone said was, the companies that are laying off people because of AI deserve to die because they didn't have any other good ideas. In my business, if I had if I had 5 extra hours in a week, if I had 20 hours extra in a week, I have 16 projects I would love to pull up to be able to instill. But the companies that are firing people because they have nothing in the tank to pull up and push forward, like to be able to like push uphill with all this new capacity that they've been given, it's very telling to show that you had no other cards in the book to reduce your costs or increase your revenue. So that's a regurgitation of a good quote I heard from someone else. So, okay, I'm done bitching. I'm just saying I'm trying to use AI ethically and responsibly. But anyways, okay, back to the music. Oh, it's hot. But my hair's a certain level of fluff where I'm just like, I want to shave it all off. I won't. I won't. I won't. Okay. Scoot. I almost was about to just do this in a Word document. How crazy is that? Times are changing. With the way, I would say for like the audit version, when I'm getting started, I kind of want to, well, let's let's backpedal. Let's backpedal. We've got, let's just look at all the, I don't need to just start answering questions. Okay. Pricing, hourly versus flat, project fee versus retainer. What's the size trigger? How many employees? How many gigabytes of files? What platforms are you covering? I think they all kind of are similar. But I'd have to look and see if there's any spooky stuff about Dropbox. Scope of work. Do you touch active files or archived ones too? I think it would just be let's just keep reading. Let's keep reading. Do you interview department heads to understand their workflows? Fuck yeah. Yeah. That's my favorite part. Do you write a style guide, naming convention doc that they keep? That would be smart. And like kind of, yeah, I think it depends on, like, if they already have stuff in place, then I would love to go in and like just, the other thing that I failed to mention, but the reason why a lot of companies don't move files is because if let's say you hyperlink and you send that hyperlink to someone and then you move the file, that hyperlink no longer works the way that it used to. Google Drive sometimes, I think the file still works the same way, but maybe the permissions might change. But the reason why people don't move things, especially if data is connected inside of it, is because they're afraid to break it because they don't know how to fix it. Because some guy named Jim 10 years ago made this file that all connects together through magic and VBA and all this stuff, and nobody knows the archaic scripts of how to put that all back together. I do. So that's where I can say, and that's where I would be able to create my process, which I should probably write down. AJ note, create process to test usability once things move. So with especially Excel files, Word documents, PowerPoint documents, not as bad. But with Excel documents, if you move a file or you move a source file or you rename a source file, the Power Query connections might have changed. And that is where I'm pretty good at fixing them. But let's say I need to be able to create a preliminary process so that I can already see, okay, this is I have to work with the individual owners of things of like, okay, what are your load bearing tools and repeated use tools? And I'd be able to see that in their revision guides or all their file explorers to be able to see when's the last time you even touched this file. But I would need some sort of process to find out your load bearing tools, look through all of your VBA code and all of your data sources to make sure that when I move those specific files are flagged so that as they move, there's still access to them, which I'm more than capable of doing, which is why I think that I'm uniquely created to do this specific task because one, I love it. And then two, I'll be able to kind of dig around in people's files and be able to see how data moves throughout their company, which then if I'm in there and I see someone still using a VLOOKUP, then I'm like, oh, I have some gifts to bestow you. Because let's imagine if I'm off the street and I go, hey, do you use Power Query? And they say no. I'd be like, I think you could really use it. And they're like, what if none of their tools are in Excel? I imagine some of them are, but you never know until you get in the middle of it. But people aren't going to let you in the middle of their data without having reason. So it's kind of, this is just the entryway. It's kind of like, imagine your house cleaner or a carpet cleaner. Let's say let's say the house cleaner comes in and they, are cleaning everything and then they see your carpets have a stain on it. They could be like, hey, while I'm in here, do you want me to clean that stain? That's the similar thing with me is I'm here to clean your files and organize them. But while I'm in there, if I see something that might need fixed, then it opens the door for me to help while I'm there. You already know. You guys already know. Okay. Would you interview departments? Yes. And part of this is change management that I need to brush up on. There's a lot of intentional parts of change management that I think people overlook. Requested change, impact analysis, approval and denial, implementing and reviewing status and how it's going. Anyways, there's a bunch more sub compartments of organizing leaders of parts of teams. We're past it. We're past it. Okay. Do you do the physical reorganization or just the blueprint? I do it. Style guide, which I love. Because then you can train new staff on how to do that. Explicitly out of scope is email, databases, project management tools. Ooh. Focus in file management, but then open to all data cleanup also. So this, I would imagine that, so this actually brings us back to another good point is there's the file fairy and then there's data janitor. So both of them are cleanup activities, but files is the way that files are all placed inside of your file organization. the data within those files also has the opportunity to be cleaned up. And that's where I've done a lot of work on cleaning up it. I actually like have saved myself like cleaning up an email, like a Gmail, like, you know, when you have one from like 8th grade and you have every newsletter under the sun in there and it's basically unusable because there's so many coming in. I've recovered many a times my email. So like my Gmail, like ancient Gmail. And it is possible to do. Like I sorted through 11,000 emails in like a one Ritalin cycle just to like make sure that I could use my email again. And so that we might be able to do email recovery system because I'm also the queen of covering my ass. I keep emails forever. But one simple trick is being able to have your inbox. And then when you're done, there's 3 things you can do with an email. You read it for information. Ah, yes. Thank you for telling me that this information has been updated. Thank you. Move it to reviewed. There's an action in that email, as in, hey, could you grab that file from this place and send it to me? Sure. Needs a response. You send the response, reviewed. Or number 3 is that it's spam or it's like a newsletter or something, so you just delete it because there's no point in my life that I'm ever going to need to know what the coupon for Bath and Body Works from 6 months ago said. So it really goes into information, task, noise. There's those 3. And if you keep if you ever delete things, there's a certain there's retention policies in Outlook or in Gmail. And if you don't know those exist, might be losing stuff. Okay. I didn't realize I love data cleanup so much, but I think I just need to like lean into how much I love cleaning up data. And I want to do it in a way that's more of like, you know, Dr. Pimple Popper or the lawn care guy. Like I want to take something that's a mess and reorganize it in a way that makes it super easy for everyone to find stuff. Similar to like professional organizers. Like they pay people to organize closets. Why wouldn't you organize your files? I could be a professional file organizer, which this has to exist, but I've just never seen it. But anyways. And I'm sweating. Okay. Out of scope. I don't think anything. I think it's going to be, I do think I'm going to niche down to I'll probably start in just OneDrive and SharePoint file folders to start, but we'll see. Okay, assessment process. Describe and position. Okay. Let me up here. Okay, assessment process. How do you diagnose a new client? Intake form, discovery call, drive audit. What does your deliverable look like after assessment? A report, a proposal? How long does your assessment take, and is it free or paid? I feel as though it'd be the assessment is free because I would just be like looking at it and saying, I think it's going to depend on number of employees or department heads, because if I have to interview 16 different department heads to organize your files, then it's like that's an enormous amount of information. Because honestly, at the point, I think if there's over a certain threshold number of people, then I would just say, okay, I'll organize one department's data at a time, or creating like a bigger project out of it. Or honestly, at that point, if I'm in the door with them, I'd be like, I think there's bigger shit going on if we're, I don't know. I think number of employees and department heads. But like thinking about like a team of like 30 to 50, like if people are using like the same documents over and over again, like this is where templatizing things is a super, that I think I'm just gonna have to fuck around and find out with this one. It's just like, hey, let me come try. And like it might be like the first 2 or 3 I do, it's like it might be like very extreme discounts. So if you or someone you know has a lot of fucking files and wants me to clean those up for you, let me know, because I'd love to give that a shot. Because I think I can't pre-plan my way out of this one. I just got to try it. But we're going to keep going. How long does the assessment take? Is it free or paid? Probably free. The assessment, like, we'll figure that out. Okay, let's keep going. Describing it. Data janitor is honest but undersells it. You're closer to the information architect for SMBs. What's SMBs? Small and medium-sized businesses. You're closer to an information architect for them. The pain point to lead with is time loss searching and onboarding new staff into chaos. Avoid tech jargon. Your buyers are ops managers and founders, not IT. God bless. I think that's a good point. I might need to do a little bit more digging on the pain points, because the reason why people don't fix it any sooner is because you learn where your specific files are and then you just kind of go from there. Oh, side note, I have a cool new visual. It's called BrioCam. How cool is this? Ooh. And then I'm excited to be able to do like more brainstorming. So, and Mom, if you can tell me if this is written like mirrored or if you can read it the regular way. Is that the regular way? Or is it flipped? I think I need to do analysis on all of the pain points to more adequately map what kind of customers that they map to. But such a cool new visual, right? Yay. Okay. Thank you, Mom. But yeah, I have my little webcam up there. So cute. So cute. If I had enough money, man, we'd have some multi-cams. And I think... So dumb. That's enough. I'm sorry. Okay. We're back. Okay. I am excited. I do think the pain points are going to be good, though. Because it's similar to a sticky note exercise. Because if you can speak directly to the pain points of the customers, then it's hard to... Like, that's sales 101. Okay, good practices, training component. This is actually a strong differentiator. Clean up without training just decays back in 6 months. This could be a short team workshop, written SOP, or short Loom walkthrough. Nice. That would be good. I love it. Data confidentiality clause, non-negotiable, obviously. Clear definition of what done looks like and revision limits if they change scope mid-project. For sure. While you're in there, can you also blank? And I think decision paralysis on their end, they'll disagree internally on how to organize things and you'll get stuck. Platform sprawl. Many businesses have 4 places and files in 4 places no one told you. Want to go deeper on any of these? Pricing structure. Okay, so the nice thing about this, the risks, is I'm actually not too concerned about the scope creep, because I think what's going to happen is, one, and I think I'll find more information out when I start doing this, but I can limit it to like this business's OneDrive in this file path and below. I can agree on a wireframe. So basically in my assessment, I can say, in the past, I've taken businesses that look like this to this in X amount of time. And what I'll probably do is say, hey, based on the pre-assessment, and maybe I assess the different departments, the different levels of confidentiality in their business. So like, for instance, certain levels of sales, the frontline warehouse workers don't need access to all of the sales information and all of your clients' EINs. That's information that nobody needs to know about except for the person who signed the contract and the client. Like accounting and the client. And so that's where I think if I make a confidentiality map or something, I can say, hey, in the past I've worked with businesses like yours. Here's what it went from and to. And if you are interested in doing a project like this, I think these folders are what you're looking for. And there also might be a circumstance of, I need to probably map out the difference between, let's do this, back to my sheet. And we also need to map the pain points. And then man, my handwriting is trash. Maybe let's try this one. Uh-oh. Come on, you can do it. Put your ass into it. There we go. Wow. I really fucked that one. Yee. Whoa. How do you spell catalog? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Catalog. Catalog. Okay, there we go. I was gonna say, to store, I went by department, and HR gave you authority to work in department files. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's a good call, Mom. Org structure. Now, the other thing is, I'm already going a little too crazy. Okay, so let me back up. If you think about your house cleaner, when they come in, they're not coming in and immediately reorganizing all of your pantries. It might be a circumstance where I should... Wow, proficient in pricing, CAD, and inventory. I forgot you did that, Mom. Wow, that was so many moons ago. That's crazy. Let me think. I think one of the... Like, it's almost going... I'm trying to think of, like, if I was to go into a business and they were to say, put these files in these bins, would I be annoyed? I'm not... I need to map... I mean, map this out. Okay. Here we go. We need, like, levels. You are pretty smart. Okay, so level 1, purely cleaning active and active. And that's like where I would go through every folder and just clean out like anything that has not been used in months. It goes to a red tag. And if you're unfamiliar with what red tag means, in businesses, what they'll do is, or in businesses, basically a red tag is kind of the best way of showing like, hey, this is going to recycle, it's being moved, it's being discarded. It's a way of tagging like a bigger thing and saying, hey, this is going to a trash can or it's leaving in some way. And so what I do with my folders, essentially, let's just create a baby one. How do I get to my desktop? I'm silly. New folder. So inside of a folder, every folder I have, like there's going to be an assortment of wow, I like how they still have these on there. That's funny. So this would be like a standard way of saying something. So you have the date. Well, actually, I'm lying to your face. If you were to, oops, rename, if you name it as 2026 month day, and then the file name, and then you can do V1, V2, V2, whatever. If you put the date that way, it will auto sort based on the date that you've put in there. So for instance, instead of putting V2 because it's a new file, the name is already organized that way. Does that make sense? And then you can make a new folder called red tag. And then you're like, okay, actually, the latest one is the only one I'm working on now, so I'm going to move this one. So red tag, if you ever want to go back and look at stuff that you had before, you can always go back to red tag and be like, you want to see some ancient history? Let's go back. Then in red tag, then I can do quick audits of if I go to red tag and I look at any of the dates modified, and if any of them, then when I go back and I see any of the red tags have been touched, then I can go into the revision history of it and say, who's touching this file? And why are they touching it in the red tag? The red tag is on its way to the dumpster. What are you doing with that? So then it's a way of kind of teaching, like it's like a coaching mechanism, but then it's also like making sure that when you enter a file folder, you see exactly what the most important stuff is. Additionally, I saw with a different industry, shout out to my girl Abby, she showed me how they do how they do file management in a graphic industry. So the way that they do it is similar, like the date code, underscore, and then they have like based on their their client names or the states or whatever, they would have like individual codes. So if it said, 2026 0519 underscore PP underscore Canva or something, you would know PP equals peachy profitability. And I'm not lost on how funny those initials are. That is how my sales signs work by dates. So cool. And so that's where like there are little things that even I fall out of habit with, especially if it's something that let's find, for instance, you have a file that you don't want to save off a copy of. Then that would have a name that's like pricing breakout. Like I have a file named pricing breakouts, and that is a tool that is frequently used, and it's a dashboard that's kind of used every day. So that would need if it's an export or kind of creating the boundaries, like I think I need to do a little bit more research on best practices, and this I have to put back in my heart of we don't need to be the perfect data organizer to start organizing data. There are people who start cleaning houses that aren't the best at cleaning, that don't know all of the best chemicals to mix together to get the stain out. Like I purely have to start, and that's why I'm really proud of myself for today, taking what the universe has handed me and deciding to focus for 55 minutes on building this new service because I'm really excited about it. And I haven't been this excited about much in a while. So we're putting it into the universe. Now, this is week 1 where I wanted to pretty much just start opening the door for concepts of service offerings, of what things do I need to keep in mind, scope creep, and who's my audience, what's my pricing, thinking through these. And then next week I'm going to be kind of having more answers and finding more answers to a lot of those questions. But throughout the week I'm going to be doing a little bit more research on some data management best practices to make sure that I'm not immediately falling on my face. But I think there's something here. But yes, there's technically 3 minutes left, and my brain. Yep, trash always gets thrown out first. I am excited for you. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for coming to Office Hours with Amber. I'm obviously Amber. And if you work in data, if you have any data projects, if you're working in Excel or Airtable or interested in talking a bit more, there is a link to my Calendly in the description below, and I would love to chit chat with you. Thankfully, that solves the problem of, Amber, you seem busy, or Amber, when do you have availability? Calendly's gotcha. You can just click on that and we'll be off to the races. But this might be one of the last weeks that we are in this apartment for Officers of Amber. We might have a new set next week, depending on if the creepy man shows back up at my apartment. But that is the end of it. I don't know when this is going to end, so